Hello everyone. In the series of learning database management system, our today's topic is closure of attribute, or we can say attribute closure. Fine. So in the previous lecture we have studied functional dependency. So just a quick recap, what is a functional dependency? A functional dependency, if I'm saying there is a functional dependency from x to y, that means x is the determinant and y is the dependent. There is a functional dependency like this. Then in a relation, what we are saying, this functional dependency will holds if two tuples having same value for x also have same value for y. That is, x uniquely determines y. Then only the functional dependency holds. If you have not gone through this video, please check this video, because functional dependency is the base for all the problems which we are going to solve next. So today our topic is closure of attribute, and functional dependency plays very important role here also. So I'm just taking one example so you can understand where the functional dependency holds and where the functional dependency doesn't hold. Fine. So as you can see here, I'm having a customer table. In this customer table, customer ID is the primary key, customer name is there, customer city and customer state is there, and I have entered few values. Now following functional dependencies are given to us. What are the functional dependency? Customer ID determines customer name. Fine. And you already know the definition of functional dependency. Now according to the base you have, on the basis of that, just answer the questions whether these functional dependency holds good or not. So first is customer ID determines customer name. What is the determinant here? Determinant is customer ID. What is a dependent? Dependent is customer name. And what we are saying, if there is a condition like this, that x determines y, then x should uniquely determines y, then only the functional dependency holds. Okay, let's check customer ID. Customer ID, as it is a primary key, so there are all unique value for customer ID. And customer name 101 Vasanta, 101 C101 uniquely determines Vasanta, no problem. 102 Meghna, C103 Zoya, 104 Vasanta, no problem. Customer ID, that is for the value of x, there is a unique value of y. No problem here. So what we can say, this functional dependency can hold, because for each customer ID there is a unique value for customer name. So this functional dependency will hold. Next we are having functional dependency where customer ID determines customer city and customer city determines customer state. Let's check again here. Vasanta Bangalore, Bangalore Karnataka. Meghna Delhi, 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 no problem. Then Zoya Noida, then customer name is Zoya and customer city is Noida. Customer city is Noida and customer address is UP, no problem. Vasanta Chennai, and here if you can see city Chennai, Tamil Nadu. So both the functional dependency holds good, because they uniquely determine the dependent. Last, let's check. Customer name determines customer ID. Now if you can see here, Vasanta C101, Vasanta determines C101, Meghna determines C102, Zoya determines C103. Again, now Vasanta determines C104. Now here is a problem. This particular functional dependency, it does not hold, because as you can see, the customer name Vasanta, here this name is not uniquely determining the customer ID. At one place I am getting C101 and another place I am getting C104. So here this functional dependency doesn't hold good, right? So this was your functional dependency. Now what we are going to do now, we are going to calculate the attribute closure, also known as closure of attribute set, or some people in some books you can also find closure on attribute set. All are one and the same thing. So first understand the definition of attribute closure, then I will tell you how to calculate it. So the definition: the set of all those attributes which can be functionally determined from an attribute set known as closure of that particular attribute set. Fine. We will understand this with an example. That time this definition you will understand properly. Now for notation, how we will denote. Let us suppose I want to calculate the closure of attribute set A. So how I can write the closure? The closure will be denoted like this. In the superscript I have to put a plus sign, and this is known as the closure of attribute set. So here some steps are given. If you will follow these steps, you can calculate the closure of an attribute. So just understand the steps. Add the attributes which are already present in the attribute set for which closure is being computed to the result set. What we have to do? We have to add the attribute set for which we are calculating the closure. All the attributes which are present in that set, we will add them directly. After that, repetitively add attributes which can be functionally determined. Here again your functional dependency is coming. Repetitively add attribute which can be functionally determined from the attributes already present in the result set. Let's take an example so this concept will be clear for you. Now here I am having a relation where three attributes are there: A, B, C. Two functional dependency are given to me. A determines B and B determines C. Okay. Now first step, add the attributes which are already present in the attribute set for which closure is being computed. So here what is the question? Compute closure for A. So when I have to compute the closure for A, that means what? I am doing something like this. I am calculating the closure of A. Now what are the attribute already present in the set? A. So if I will say A uniquely determines A, this is not wrong. A can uniquely determine A, right? So the first step we are doing, add the attribute which are already present in the attribute set for which closure is being computed to the result set. So in my result set, A came. Next step is what? Repetitively add attributes which can be functionally determined from the attribute already present in the result set. Right now in result set, what is present? A is present, and another functionally determined. A determines what? B. So in my result set I can write A, B. Fine. After that what I can write? Repetitively add again attributes. Now B determines C. So in my result set what will come? A, B, C. Fine. So what is this? Closure of A is giving me all the three attributes for this relation A, B, C. So if I am saying A uniquely determines this entire relation R, I am not wrong, right? A alone has the power to determine all the elements of this relation R. So closure of A is ABC. Fine. Let's take one more example so it will be more clear. Now, here another example we are taking where we are having a relation with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these attributes. Now functional dependency is BC. A determines BC, BC determines DE, D determines F, CF determines G. So these are the functional dependency which are given to us, and in the question what they are asking? Compute closure of A, D, BC. So three closures they want. Let's compute. So first let me compute the closure of A. Now denotation, how to denote it? I have to denote it like this. I am computing closure of A. Now first thing, according to step number 1. What is step number 1? Add the attribute which are already present in the attribute set. Now for this A, what is already present in the attribute set? For this A, already A is present, so I can uniquely determine A, no problem, right? After that, what I have to do? Repetitively add the attribute which can be functionally determined from the attribute already present in the result set. So now if you can see here, A determines BC. That means I can write A, B, C. So A will determine BC. Now another functional dependency I have, BC determines DE. So using BC I can get DE also. So how I can write? I can write A, B, C, D, E. Right? Now as you can see, D determines F. So if I will use this D, I will get F also. So here I have to write A, B, C, D, E, F. So I can determine F as well using D. Now if you can see from here, C is present, F is present, and together C and F can determine G. So here I can write A, B, C, D, E, F and G. Now there is no other element left which we have to determine. So as you can see, the closure of A gives me all the attribute for this relation R. So if I am saying A, closure of A is capable in computing this relation R, is not wrong, right? Next, what we have to do? We have to compute the closure of D. So let's compute closure of D. This was closure of A. Now I am computing closure of D. So here for computing closure of D, right? So now which element is already present? D uniquely determines D, no problem, right? After this, what I have to do? All the elements which are functionally dependent, repetitively I have to add those attributes which are functionally dependent. Now as you can see, D determines F. D directly determines F. So here I can write D, F. Any other functional dependency? F alone is able to determine anything? No. Here F is determining with C. CF together determines G. So that we cannot use. DF together determining anything? No. DF together is not determining anything. So we cannot determine any other attribute using D and F. Fine. So what we have to do? Finally, closure of your D is only DF. Fine. Let's take another one. Next is what? We have to compute the closure for BC. Now for two elements also we can, for two attributes also it's allowed to calculate the closure. So now calculate the closure for BC. Now first thing, add the attribute which are already present. Which attributes are already present? B and C are already present. So I can uniquely determine B and C. So I am writing B and C like this. Now using BC, what else I can determine? If you can see, using BC I can determine DE. So here I can write using BC I can determine DE. So here D and E will also I can accommodate here in the result set. Now using alone D, if you can see here there is a functional dependency where D determines F, right? So using alone D I can determine F. So here I will write B, C, D, E, F, right? After this, using this CF together, now in the result set I am having C also and I am having F also. So using this CF together, I am allowed to determine G also. So B, C, D, E, F and G. Fine, that's it. Anything else we can determine? Now if you can see, this A is not determined here because this A is not coming anywhere in the dependent side. So with any other element we are not able to determine A. So the A is left out here. So with BC, closure of BC is what? Closure of BC is BCD, E, F, G. Fine. I hope this is clear. Let's take one more example. Let's take a relation. So here I am taking one relation R, and the attributes for this relation is A, B, C, D, E and F. Now functional dependencies are something like this, that A determines B, C determines DE, AC determines F, then D determines AF and E determines CF. Fine. These are the functional dependency given to us. Now let us suppose I want to calculate the closure for D. So let's calculate the closure for D. If I want to compute the closure for D, how I should write? I should write like this. Now I am having D. What attributes D can determine? First thing, D can determine D. It can uniquely determine D. So I am writing D. Now I have to write those attributes which are functionally dependent. So here if you can see, I can see a functional dependency. A determines AF. Sorry, D determines AF. Right? So I can write from D, I can get AF as well. Right? After this, what you can see, from A, using A, I can determine B. So let me write like this: A, B, D, F. Fine. Next what? Anything else I can determine using this? Here I am having A. With A I have already used. Alone B is not determining anything. D determines AF, that I have already taken. F alone is not determining anything. So closure of D is this much only. D can uniquely determine only these attributes. Right? Now let's take one more example. For the same question, let's compute the closure, and this time let's compute DE closure. So I want to compute the closure for DE. Okay. Now as you can see, first what I have to do, I have to add the attribute which are already present. What is already present? DE. So in the result set I will add DE. Next what I have to do, those which are functionally determined by the attributes which are already present. Right? So if you can see here, D determines AF. So using D I can get AF. So I am writing here A, D, E, F. Now next, if you can see, using A I can get B. So A, B, D, E, F. Fine. Next, using E I can get CF. So A, B, C, D, E and F. Now further I don't have to check anything. Already we have determined all the attributes. As you can see in the relation, I am having A, B, C, D, E, F, and here already in the result set I am having A, B, C, D, E, F. So if I am saying the closure of DE gives me the entire relation R, it's correct. Fine. So this was the closure of the attributes. Let's take a quick revision. Closure of attribute, the set of all those attributes which can be functionally determined from an attribute set, is known as closure of that attribute. I hope now this definition makes sense to you. It is denoted by this. We have to write in the braces, curly braces we will write, or small bracket also you can write. So like this or like this also you can write. So closure will be denoted like this. There are two steps which you have to keep in mind for finding out the closure. First, add the attributes which are already present. Those attributes for which we are calculating the closure, those attribute we will add in the result set, and after that those attributes which are functionally dependent on the attributes which are present in the result set, and we will do like this and we will be able to compute the closure. I hope this is clear. This is again very important topic. Practice some questions on this so it will be more clear to you. Thank you.